All right, let's go ahead and get into our official plays, and it's going to be all based around the home run derby. I told you it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to go ahead and target some of the matchups, but also one guy that we really like. And so if we're looking at this, if you're checking out the screen right now here at home, if you're listening to audio, I'm pretty much just showing the screen of the brackets and how it breaks down. But I want to make sure I look at it and really just target. There's one matchup that I love, and that's going to be the Pete Alonso and J-Rod, Julio Rodriguez. It's the 2-7 matchup. And honestly, this was the finals last year. We're talking about a guy in Julio Rodriguez that is he is a Seattle Mariner. We're playing in Seattle. Like, this is awesome. He's going to have the hometown crowd behind him. Pete Alonso is a former 2-time home run derby winner. So that's a great matchup. But you go 1-8, you got Luis Robert Jr. and Adley Rushman, who's a rookie. You know what? I don't love that for Rushman there. I think that Luis Robert wins that because I think he is. I think this park targets the right-handed hitters instead of the left-handed hitters, and so that I would probably lean on Luis Robert Jr. But I wouldn't say that Adley Rushman, being in a first-time guy, is going to be shocker if he does win. But I do think that Robert wins and goes into round 2 here. Garcia, I really like him, and I like his bat compared to Rosarena. I just think he's been swinging the hotter bat right now, and so I know that means nothing in the home run derby, but I'm going to go with Garcia here to advance. So if that's 2 matchups you're looking at the odds, they obviously have been moving. It hasn't been I guess a bet that I would be willing to take just yet because I do think that the number just hasn't been there. The only way you're going to do this is if you're targeting an underdog. That's the only way I'd probably bet one of these. So if you do like one of these guys that you feel like they're swinging the hot bat, then I would go ahead and go with them. But let's go ahead and go over to Pete Alonso and J-Rod. I know the hometown crowd is going to be all over, and Julio Rodriguez. I'm just going to go ahead and go with the polar bear, Pete Alonso. I just think he is the better swinger, and I think he actually takes it more serious. Not saying J-Rod doesn't. I'm just saying this is a matchup that Pete Alonso wants to make sure he wins. I'm sorry, this was not. I said this earlier. It was the finals matchup. It was not. Sorry, Julio Rodriguez went against Juan Soto in the finals last year, where Juan Soto won. But this is a great matchup. I expect Pete Alonso to win, and then we're going to go to Mookie Betts and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. I don't think Mookie Betts has the swing for it. I really just think this is Vlad's to take home. I like him. I back him. And that might be the only underdog that you can really get. I haven't looked at those lines as of late, but when they opened, I think that Vlad was the actual, he was a favorite going into this, even though he is the underdog on the numbers. So what that does is it gets that to Robert Jr. and Garcia. I'm going to go ahead and go with Luis Robert Jr. to go to the finals. I think he is a more of an upswing hitter instead of a line drive hitter like Garcia might be. So that's the only reason I'm targeting him. And then I'm going to go with the polar bear over Vlad Guerrero. The reason is not that Vlad isn't a good swinger. I just think that he wants to go out, get some great swings in. And if he hits a bunch, have fun, great. Pete Alonso, this is all about business. I think he wants to win this. And the reason I think he wants to win this is the biggest storyline of everything. He wants to win this because he then becomes a 3-time champion. He ties Ken Griffey Jr. as the only 3-time champion. And then he does it there in Seattle, where Ken Griffey Jr. is from, or where he played most of his ball. And so this will be awesome. And so you send the polar bear against Luis Robert Jr. I think this is a polar bear plunge. And I think that Pete Alonso come out as your champion. And that will be my first official bet. And it will be that Pete Alonso will win the home run derby. It's at plus 360. The odds opened up at plus 250. And now he's fallen back to now being at a plus 360. So I like this number. A guy who takes it so serious. He wants to go ahead and hit for 3 home run derby winners. And so I'm going to go ahead and back the polar bear. All right. So if you saw the bracket there, right, we had Luis Robert Jr. going against Pete Alonso. Well, if you want to sprinkle and have some more fun, that's what I did. Okay. And I'm seeing at a plus 750 Pete Alonso over Luis Robert Jr. The odds are very, very high. It's plus 750. It's not likely to hit, but it's two guys that I think are the better upswingers. One being Pete Alonso, who just takes this so serious. Luis Robert Jr., who I think he has more of the uppercut swing. I think there's a potential that both of these guys could meet in the finals. And if they do, I expect, like I said earlier, the polar bear plunge. And so that's going to be my picks, my two official plays. I'm completely backing Pete Alonso. And so I think he takes in the home run derby. Man, how awesome would that be if we get Pete Alonso, 3-time champion, there in Seattle, going against Ken Griffey Jr. He ties him, home run derby champion. That's the storylines that I'm liking. And so if you're checking out the screen, how beautiful, how beautiful. Look at this. Look at this. It's great. It's great. Look at that. That's so beautiful. Man, Seattle's kid, Ken Griffey Jr. All right, that's all we have. Let's have a great time. This weekend should be a lot of fun. We're going to get into the All-Star game, and so I wanted to have my picks because I knew that we would not have another show. Chase's show, who actually hit a bunch of picks. Well, make sure you check it out. It's coming out every Tuesday. We're here every Friday. And so I hope you enjoyed the interview with Ryan. He was good coming in, and I know that's his kid, just like the draft. He did. We both killed it in the draft this year and cashing with that. And then here in the summer league, the odds makers, the sports book just don't want to go too high on these overs, and so we're going to keep attacking them as we have every year. And so I wanted to make sure he was here first. So, but that's all we have. Let's have a great rest of the week. Let's have a great weekend. Enjoy some great baseball. That's all we have. Let's cash and have fun.
Thank you for listening to Bluff City Bets. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a rating and a review wherever you download your podcasts. Also, like and subscribe to Bluff City Media's YouTube page. For comprehensive coverage of all things Memphis sports, head over to www.bluffcitymedia.co and find out how you can become an insider. We will see you back here next week.